I feel like this might be a really, really awkward angle, but I can't figure out how to get this where it's not just like blown up on my head or really far out. So we're gonna roll with it. Coming out as a bisexual Christian, it's definitely not been easy. Even saying it out loud is really weird for me at this point. Kind of late to this game, I guess you could say, because I'm 24. But I know the first step for me was coming to terms with it myself. And that was a long process in and of itself. It hasn't been easy since I've come out. I've had a wide variety of responses. I have had my family who is so supportive, so loving. It's been fantastic. My roommate has been awesome. When I first told him, he was actually the first person I told that I knew. And I terrified that I was going to be rejected or whatever, because we actually share a room. I offered, if it made him feel uncomfortable, that I would move out. I would find somebody to take my place. And his response was just so great. It was awesome. I'm so thankful for it. Then I've found it very interesting, because something I have learned in life is that we all want to be able to connect with someone to some degree. And before I could muster any type of courage to try to come out to people I knew, I tried to go to some gay bars. I did it when I was visiting my family so that people around me wouldn't risk seeing it. And I found it interesting because I met somebody who, when I was talking to him, talking about being bi, he talked about how I didn't even know who I was yet. And it took me a really long time to try to figure out what exactly he meant by that. And I kind of came to know that there are people in the LGBT community that view bisexuality kind of as a cop-out. Something that doesn't really exist. Like, I met another person at a bar who talked about how he wanted to hang out with me even though I'm bi. Like, that was some awful mark on me that was saying I shouldn't be able to connect with people. I felt stigmatized by it to some degree. Honestly, it was somebody at a bar, so I couldn't care so much. But it's just one of those where I didn't realize that was a thing until I actually started getting out there. And so at that point, so in college, this is very fragmented, I apologize, I'm not really used to talking about this. When in college, actually I don't really expect anybody to watch this, so that's okay. My faith became something really important to me, and I wound up at a church that is very conservative, which is funny because I would not consider myself. And they believe that homosexuality is a sin. So as I was going through this, again, that connection, I felt like I couldn't be connected to them. I couldn't be connected to the LGBT community because I felt like it was being viewed as something that didn't exist. Just that my sexuality wasn't a real thing. And then you get the other end of that spectrum where it's viewed as a sin. So neither was really, there was a lot of struggles there. It was hard. But I kind of kept going, started to tell more people, and had a mixed responses again. Anything from, I had one person talking about how it was a struggle and I need to kind of work through it with God, and basically the kind of pray the gay away mentality. Yeah. And And it's really hard for me to fault the people who, because they are trying to do it from, and it would be so much easier for me if it was done from a place of malice where I could just stop talking to them or would want to hit them or something like that. But I know it was from a place of really loving me and trying. That's just how they thought that they could care for me. Can't say that makes it any easier. Actually, that makes it harder. Again, it'd be so much easier if you just wanted to hit the person and be done with it. Yeah, so I got that response. I got from another person who I really respected. It's, again, from a loving perspective, oh, it's not any worse than any other sin, was basically his response. And again, that's hard because although I wouldn't say that it's the key defining factor of who I am, I do think it is a part of me. And it's kind of like negating a part of you. And even in the LGBT community, I have a friend who so happened to be gay. He had been a dear friend for 6 years, and then he kind of viewed sexuality and gender identity as the two key defining factors of a person. Which meant he decided that since I had told him this, that meant it was okay to strip in front of me. And we're just gonna stop because I don't want to continue on with that story right now. So I was getting I've gotten bad, what I would call bad responses on both ends, both communities that I was trying to kind of be a part of, and this was all while I finished grad school, and so all my friends from school were moving to different places. So it's definitely been hard, but it really has been worth it. Faith-wise, my faith is still very important to me. It's kind of reaffirmed how loving our God is. And if you don't believe in God, that's your decision. That's cool. Yeah. Again, tangent. Really disconnected mind. I don't remember where I was going. So yes, that's right. So yeah, faith-wise, it's still important to me. It hasn't changed that. And it has been, I've been telling more people, like I said, you get mixed responses, but you do get those people who are so supportive, and even if they're not, if they have that very hard to deal with, what they view as loving response, it's still worth it. It's hard, but it really is worth it. It's like a weight is kind of lifted off, and you will find that there are people you will be able to connect with, whether it's people in the LGBT community, whether it's just friends, family. You'll find people, and it's something you definitely need to do in your own time. You need to first come to terms and peace with it for yourself before you can actually make the next move out. Because if I had talked about this before I had even kind of come to that place, I probably would have broken. I probably would have shattered, because I have had struggles. I'm not going to go into detail with them right now, but it has not been easy. And I don't necessarily expect it to. Life isn't easy, but it doesn't mean it's not worth living. It is so worth moving forward. You can't let things hold you back. You have to kind of push through, and it's hard to do. But I know for me personally, it's been really worth it. And I'm just glad I did it, and yeah, I don't know that anybody will ever watch this, but if they do, I hope it helps, or I don't know. Like I said, this is weird and new, and yeah, I'm just gonna stop now.